Once upon a time, there lived a woman very close to my house at Shegirile Kono town. Her name was Mama Kolo. She was radiant, beautiful, outspoken, and crazy. She had a very gentle and quiet husband with three daughters, one son, and three grandchildren. They all lived together. The first daughter was Charlotte. She was tall, she was thick, a curvy young lady and very arrogant. She never made friends with any of the neighbors because she thinks she's better than them. The second daughter was Precious, had a small body image. She was dark in complexion and slim. She was friendly and made friends with the neighbors. The third daughter was Sheiton. She was 14 years old and was about the same class with my older sister. She was jovial, very friendly, nice and playful. Mama Kolo was a stay-at-home mom, and her husband worked and earned an average salary. But they were known to live a lavish lifestyle, wearing expensive clothes, shoes, bag, and hair. They never cooked or cleaned. They always buy food from fast food and eatery and had other people clean after them. Everybody in the neighborhood always wonder how they could afford such things. But one thing that baffles everyone the most was the constant fighting and arguments. Whenever we walked past their house, there was always an argument, which no one seems to know what causes the argument. One day, the woman living beside them, whom happened to have a grocery store in front of her house, said she overheard them arguing again. According to the woman, who was narrating what she heard in shock, said they were arguing because of money. But not just that, she said they were arguing because of the money they earned from sleeping with rich men. She said she did not seem to understand because they were having the arguments with their mother. She couldn't explain what she heard because she was so confused. I was shocked to hear this, and immediately I bought what I wanted to buy from the woman and ran home to tell my mother and sisters. They were surprised and didn't believe me, saying how could their mom be arguing with them about the money they earn from sleeping with rich men. I was determined to know the full story. So one day as I went to buy groceries from the woman, we heard arguing again. So this time we decided to listen to everything they had to say. And this conversation ensues between them. Sharon said, I am the oldest, so I'm taking 60%. Mama Kolo said, I am your mother, so I'm taking 50%. Enough of all this rubbish you've been doing with me. Are you older than me? Precious said, but mom, we are the ones that do the work, not you. Why do you want to take more than us? Mama Kolo replied, will you shut up there, you silly girl? What do you mean by you do the work? Don't I do most of the work? All you have to do is just go there and sleep with them. How is that work? Sharon said, what do you mean by that? What work do you do? Mama Kolo replied, oh, so you want to know? Okay, I'll tell you. Who goes to market to buy your clothes, bag, hair, and makeup? Is it not me? Or do you think it's easy going to the market, selecting beautiful things and classic things that you always wear? Precious said, but mommy now. Mama Kolo shouted, shut up, I'm still talking. Who bring the connections? Is it not me? Or all this while that you've been going? How many connections have you bring? I'm the one always pressing the buttons. Who dresses you up every time you are going to an outing? Is it not still me? I'll even escort you to pick up a cab every time for your outing. Now tell me what you do that can amount to that. Sharon replied, so this is what you call work. Do you know what we go through every time? Do you know how we are being treated? If only you do, you will not call this work. Precious said, Mom, that is true. If only you know what we go through, you'll not be saying all these are work. Mama Kolo shouted, I will say it and say it and say it again and again and again. I do the most work. All you have to do is go there and enjoy. So I'm taking 60% and the two of you will take 20% each. I was stunned at what I heard. I couldn't believe it. That a mother escorts her daughters to sleep with rich men for money. I told my sisters about it, and they decided to ask the third daughter about what her two older sisters do for a living. When she was asked, she said they run a family business, that their mother escorts them out in the evening and they always come back the next morning. We asked what type of family business. She said she does not know. At this point, we were convinced that what we heard was true. But how can a mother do that to her children? My mother began to be concerned for the girls because they were still young. Whenever Shaitan comes to our house, my mother will compliment her and play with her. She bought her goodies also, which she really loved. She told her sisters about it, and soon, Auntie Precious, that was what we called the second daughter, started coming over to our house too. She was really nice and gentle, but she talks a lot. After coming over to our place for some time, she started telling us about herself. She would say she really liked the way we were raised because we never really left our compound, and she was wondering how we cope all day being indoors. She said she can never, stating that even if she had no outing, she would call a particular shift to come take her out. Lo and behold, the rumor was true. We asked which chief was that. She said he was her mom's classmate when she was in school. Her mother introduced him to her. She later confirmed the rumors that it was true, that their mother made them sleep with rich men for money. We were all confused and asked why and if they were happy with it. She said she likes what she does, and the reason they do it is because they wanted to live lavishly. She said their mother wanted them to have what their mates had, but unfortunately, she was a full housewife, and her father's salary could not take care of them anymore, as she had two boys with different men who are living with them, and Sharon also had a daughter from her escapades with different men. So that was why they had to do it to keep up with the lifestyle their father already set for them, and that had been their life for over 5 years. We all screamed out in shock. 5 years? She said yes, that she started immediately after her secondary school, and then she was just 15 years, and Sharon was 16 years. I was really sad for her. I really pitied her, but she was just smiling and laughing. She didn't really care. Whenever I see Mama Kolo, the thought of everything Aunt Precious said run in my head, which made me hate her, even though I would still greet her. One day, Shaitan told us she would like to join our family business because she needed money, but her mother would not allow her. But by this time, Shaitan already knew what the family business was all about, and she said she didn't care. If her sister could do it, she could do it too. Her mother refused, and Shaitan decided to take the laws into her hands. So she decided to sleep with the boys in the area to get whatever she wanted. If she wanted anything, all she had to do was to sleep with anybody that is willing to pay her price. She began to have multiple boyfriends, which her mother was against. Whenever Shaitan is gone, she will look for her wherever she went to, and if she found her, she will beat her each time. This continued for a while until Phaeton will instruct the guy not to open the door whenever her mother knocks. Shaitan will answer the door and tell her mother to go home, that when she's done, she will come home. Shaitan was only 14 and was in SS2. On getting home, her mother sat her down and told her that she was too young for what she was doing. You are just 14 and still in school. You can only start when you finish secondary school, her mother said to Shaitan. Shaitan was not happy about that. She wanted to join her older sisters in their family business. Shaitan finished her secondary school the next year and finally joined her older sisters. But now, the older sisters were not getting the attention from their mother like before because she now praises and focuses on Shaitan. Shaitan did not go to outing like her sisters. She had her own personal room in hotels and resorts. She was the talk of town, in the neighborhood and on every man's mouth. At this point, her sisters were already having problems they were battling with because their mother said they would have to pay for their children themselves as they were not bringing in money as before. So she advised them to look for the kids' father so that they can be responsible for them. Their lives were in shambles. They hated their mother. They would fight, curse, and rain insults on her, saying she ruined their lives. Instead of her to encourage them to further their education to higher institution after secondary school, she made them sleep with men for money, which had landed them in the predicament they were in. Precious decided to leave home to search for greener pastures, promising to send money for her kids' upkeep. She left to continue sleeping with men for money. On the other hand was Sharon. Sharon stopped sleeping with multiple men, but had few sugar daddies that was sponsoring her expensive lifestyle. Mama Kolo pampered Sheitan and encouraged her to continue to explore so that she can continue to bring more money. Not long after that, Sheitan came back home from her apartment in the hotel. She seems exhausted and tired. During all this while, their father had caught on what was going on with his daughters. On seeing Sheitan, he fled up and he had a very big fight with his wife, which almost broke their home. He talked to Sheitan and asked her what was the problem. And she said she was tired and ashamed because everybody in the neighborhood is talking bad about her. Even now, she does not have any friend and felt lonely. He took her to see some ministers of God for counseling and also motivated her to be a better person. She stopped going to hotels and started going to church. She changed for good. Not long after that, she got pregnant and did her introduction with her boyfriend and got married. Her father was happy to see this. Sharon said she's happy for her but surprised on how she did it because according to her, she cannot cook, clean, or take care of any man, not to talk of children. Precious also said, on the other hand, that she can never get married because she can never see herself getting married. Sheita moved in with her husband. She put to bed and had a bouncing baby girl and continued to live happily with her husband. Saying this, Sharon started to have a change of heart, seeing how her little sister is living happily with her husband, herself, and her child. One day she decided to call Sheita. They exchanged pleasantries, and she asked, Sheita, how are you coping? Because I'm so confused as to how you are doing. Because on a more serious note, I would love to have what you have, but I don't just know how to go about it. Sheita advised her to seek God first, ask for forgiveness, and to be open and submissive. She also said she should not discriminate because she might not get a kind of man with the kind of taste she has. She just had to compromise. Sharon took to Shaitan's advice. She sought for God forgiveness, and luckily for her, she had a guy that had been on her neck. She decided to give him a trial, even though according to her, he wasn't her spec. Shockingly to herself, her parents, her siblings, and even the whole neighborhood, she got married to the guy, and she also had a daughter. At first, it was hard on her. She had to bring her daughter to her mom on weekdays and only come to pick her up on weekends for about 2 years before she finally got used to her married life and she continued to live happily with her husband. Precious, on the other hand, stick to what she said because she believed she cannot be controlled, so she can't get married. She continued sleeping with men for money. After a very long time, she moved back to her parents' home, which does not sit well with her mother, but she didn't care. She dared her mother to do anything about it. She said she ruined her life and she should deal with it. She promised to be her worst enemy, but everybody in the neighborhood was surprised as to why she moved back home. By this time, she had multiple piercings and also tattoos all over her body. She wouldn't come out. The only time she does is when she's going out. Not so long, she had lost a lot of weight and looking shabby. Rumor had it that she got infected. That was why she moved back home. But she couldn't debunk the rumor because she really looked infected. People were even saying it was HIV, but nobody was certain. She looked pale, very, very skinny, and her skin was sagging. Even the tattoos on her moved away from where it was due to the saggy skin. Her skin was looking like that of a 70-year-old woman when she was only 32. She stopped going out and only stayed indoor at one point. That was how she finished her life in her parents' home till today, being her mother's worst rival, always at loggerheads every day. She made Mama Kolo's life miserable. Please subscribe to my channel if you love this story. And remember, it is never too late to change for better. Do not give up on yourself. Always keep a positive mindset. And a Yoruba adage says, "Tọ́ ọmọ rẹ kó lè fún ẹ nísinmi," meaning nurture your child well so he or she can give you peace of mind. Thank you for watching, and please like this video and subscribe. Turn on your post notification so you can be notified anytime I post a new video. Thanks.